Alright, this one's going to be about the youth forum. And, well, first off, great experience. I enjoyed, talking with the kids, and me and Jared enjoyed convincing them that presenting their project in hip hop form would be good. And, the kids, I think, enjoyed it as well once we kind of got that going. And I don't know, it was kind of fun. And I think it was really interesting for a lot of us. I don't want to speak for anybody else, but I still believe that a lot of us saw this as the first sort of example maybe of the action research cycle thing really working. We have these kids, they're coming in, they have great ideas, they're full of ideas, right? I mean, we do our best to pound imagination out of kids in school, but we're not entirely successful, and that's okay. So how do they go about it? And we're able to say, okay, well, lay it out for them. This is what you need to do, this is how you do it. And you can tell the ones that are really serious, I guess, about why they're in those clubs and what they're there to do, and the ones that aren't. But the ones that are serious, they're like they're listening, and they want to know how they can pull off some of their ideas. And it's fun to be a part of that. It's fun to see the excitement. It's fun to see the excitement. It's fun to it's fun to be part of it. To be perfectly honest, it makes you feel good. And it's always good to watch people be happy. And I think there was some great ideas coming out of there. Some ideas that I'm not sure are going to work. I don't know about Regina, but I know Saskatoon, you're not allowed to put windmills up on city lots, like city residential lots. So I don't know what would happen at a school. What can you do at a school? Is it possible that they're not allowed to put those up? And those are questions that I think I would ask if I had that group, but I didn't. I would think they've been asked, but sometimes those simple things get lost in the fray. And that's one question I had for a group that wasn't the one that I was working with and stuff like that. But I mean, the idea is still brilliant, right? And I mean, let's be honest, we're not going to save the world with wind. First of all, wind power is too expensive, and it needs to be underlined. It needs to have a infrastructure underneath it that can take up the slack when the wind power is not working. And I think I talk about that a little bit in terms of my action research project, actually, so I won't go into it a bunch here. But you can't, wind power is not the be all and end all. It's a great thing to supplement power, but it's not reliable enough to be the way we generate power, unless we find a way to store energy, which we haven't done yet anyways. Sorry, just had to do that. That was annoying me. What else? Well, Dallas's friend Kathleen is her name, maybe. Not real good with names, but she was so worried that she hadn't done enough. We thought it was all great, and I hope she knows that we all thought it was great. I enjoyed her forum, and I thought it was extremely well organized. I mean, you never 100% prepared. Come in, she said, well, I didn't get this prepared, and she was all worried about that. And I just kind of find it funny, because I've been a part of planning committees for scientific conferences, and I've been part of a planning committee for Saskatchewan Entomological Association, and so on and so forth. And I can tell you, you're never 100% planned, and she was a lot closer than anything else I've ever been to. I thought it was incredible how much had done, and how far and how much she had planned everything. We expected to come in there and have a lot more, and I mean, we also expected to be completely volunteers, and her insistence on on some sort of trinketory yes, I made that word up, trinketory gift, stuff like that isn't necessary, but it's always nice to be recognized too. I don't know, the whole experience was just good for me. In terms of reflecting deeply on it, I hope the students were able to come away with an appreciation of the steps you take, of the for some of the schools that came less prepared, an appreciation of what kind of projects you can look at. You know, nothing's too simple, and I mean, you know, that's what we had to keep on telling. Me and Jared kept on telling our school, O'Brien, with their motion sensitive lighting, and they're like, it's not a huge project. I'm like, it's a bigger project than you think, especially when you consider the regulatory agencies you have to go through and the things you have to line up to allow a project like that to take place. And when we timelined it with them, they have a very ambitious timeline because, of course, a lot of them are grade 12s and they want to see the fruition of this. And I don't blame them. That's, you know, that's the exciting part, is to be able to see it. But I also pushed the idea that even if you can't see it, you're fighting for the next generation too. Environmental projects and environmental planning isn't about the here and now, or at least not entirely. It's about, okay, what's going to be the here and now then, and you know, 10 years down the road, what is that school going to look like? And I said, even if you never get to see it, the fact that you fought for it is important, and you need to keep that in mind. And as far as an educational experience, you know, talk about environmental education being multidisciplinary. I mean, the skills that they're learning from these projects, you know, how to make phone calls, because they're not simple skills. They're not skills that everybody inherently knows, right? You know, it's hard to sit there and say, well, who doesn't know how to make a phone call? Believe it or not, phones aren't really part of our evolutionary biology, and the fact of the matter is we don't have a set of instinctual algorithms to fall back onto when it comes to making phone calls. These are important life skills, though, and I mean, they're learning these things. Letter writing, you know, canvassing, fundraising, you know, the list goes on. I mean, it's a great thing. It was a great experience for us and the Eastside people who took part, and I think it was a great experience for the students as well. At least I hope it was. On kind of a side note, one of the things that irritated me, and you know, I hope nobody, maybe except for PETA, you maybe see this and so on and so forth, because I'm going to be a little bit critical of some of my classmates here. The ones who didn't outright volunteer and came and helped during class time, they seemed to want, or at least some of them, I don't know which ones, I have an idea maybe of which ones it might be, but I'll digress on that because I don't want to blame somebody unfairly. But let's just say that there's been themes developing, you know, who say that, well, we think we should get, you know, letters saying that we volunteered at this thing too. I have a problem with that, because then it doesn't make the fact that a certain group of us volunteered, who actually volunteered and weren't told to come, I should say. Too cynical? I don't know. It doesn't, and I'm not trying to brag and say I volunteered. I'm just saying that, you know what, if you want props for volunteering, then actually volunteer. And there was a group of students who seemed to think that they deserved, you know, letters from Kathleen and stuff like that saying that they were there and volunteered, and I just didn't feel that was acceptable. And I actually kind of was offended that they would ask. I was offended on Kathleen's part that they would ask, and you know, They had the chance to actually volunteer, and I don't understand why they think they should get props for being told to come there. But I'm going to digress on that. It's just one of those things that kind of bugged me. It's been bugging me ever since it happened, and it's one of the things that I really wanted to maybe get off my chest in one of my journal entries here, and so there it is.